What's going on, everybody? King of Dragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the Hasbro Marvel Legends X-Men series Mr. Sinister. Another figure I've been looking forward to. So what we're going to do now is take a little break, get them opened up, and then we'll have a better look at Mr. Sinister. So stay tuned, everyone. And so here we have Mr. Sinister posing out of the packaging. Before we have a look at the figure, let's actually take a look at what he comes with. Mr. Sinister does come with the right arm of the Wendigo Build-A-Figure, which we'll have a better look at when he's all put together. As far as Mr. Sinister here goes, he doesn't really come with anything. No alternate hands, no accessories, no energy effects. Kind of disappointing. I think it should be mandatory that we at least get a pair of fists and open hands for all Marvel Legend figures. Other than that, I still think Mr. Sinister here is a really nice looking figure. So with that out of the way, let's actually have a closer look at his details. So here we have a closer look at Mr. Sinister, and I just love how stark white his face is. I don't know, there's something about the really bright white with the black lipstick and the red eyes that just makes him look so, pardon the term, sinister. But having a look at Mr. Sinister here, you can see he does have a flat top, which is pretty accurate to what Mr. Sinister has. I know he has different hairstyles in the comics, but this is what I remember him having for the most part in the animated series. I really do love how high the collar rides. It just looks so evil and maniacal. It looks like he's laughing from his side portrait, so that looks really good. Really do love how his lips contrast his skin really well. The little red jewel right here in his eye, or on his forehead, looks good, and his eyes are really done well. Moving on to his costume, let's actually take a look at his cape. Now, his cape is done in layers. There's two layers to it. There's an outer layer right here, and then there's an inner layer right here. Now, it does make the figure a little bit back heavy, so he has a tendency to want to lean back a lot. But you can strain him out and lean him a little bit forward, and that counteracts the weight distribution. But there's really no way they could have done this that wouldn't have caused him to be a back heavy. And, you know, the cape looks awesome, and this is the way it should look if the camera will focus. You can see they actually did a really nice job with the gloss on both sides. It's gloss dark blue on the back, and then on the inside we have this really nice semi-gloss on the red. Having a look at his costume, you can see his cape does billow out into the shoulder pads, and the shoulder pads are nice and soft. I really do like that. I really love when shoulder pads are really soft because that doesn't impede articulation. Now on mine there is a little bit of a paint error right there, just in the center of the diamond on his chest. Nothing too major, but it is a little something to note that yours might have a scratch on that diamond, and it's understandable. When they're putting it in the plastic, there's a chance that it can scrape the top of the plastic, so the point of the diamond does lose some paint. Really love the sculpt work here on his torso. You can see all the line work going from his collar basically all the way down throughout his costume. Having a look at his arms, he has really massive arms, and this looks really good. I can't tell if there's any shading in him or if it's just the marbleized plastic, but there does seem to be some dark recesses, some brighter blues. I'm pretty sure it's just the way the light is hitting it, causing that illusion, but it looks really nice. Red belt, no details on it, and I do like the fact that it is glued here in the back, so you don't have to be moving it all the time. That's one thing I think Hasbro should really start doing, is gluing these belts down. Taking a look at his gloves, it's that same dark blue that we saw on his shoulder pads. Going on to his legs, again we have the stripes going down with that metallic blue. Looks really good. We do have really high thigh boots, which is done in a dark blue plastic. And that's something I do like about this figure, is that if there's no paint needed, they sculpted it all in one plastic. So there's no paint on this figure with the exception of his diamond, the cape, and his head. Other than that, it looks like everything is cast in the color it's supposed to be in. So really good job there. Going back to his boots, you can see he has a really nice thigh-high boots going all the way down. Gotta respect his creative decision to wear thigh-high boots with regular boots. So interesting choice of fashion for Mr. Sinister here, but it's accurate to the comics, so I really can't complain too much about that. But overall, just an amazing looking figure, and there is some size to him, which I really do like. Now, with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get him compared to other figures you may have in your collection. And so here we have Mr. Sinister posed next to a DC Multiverse Superman and a Marvel Legends Cyclops. Here we have Mr. Sinister posed next to a WWE Elite Scale figure and a Mezco 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man. And finally, here we have Mr. Sinister posed next to the Marvel Legends Builder-Figure Apocalypse. So with the comparisons out of the way, guys, let's actually have a look at his articulation. Now, Mr. Sinister here, despite being a bigger figure, does have the exact same articulation that you would see on a normal Marvel Legends figure. He does have a ball joint in the head, which does let him look up slightly, looks down slightly. We get really minimal head tilt right there, but he does turn left and right. We do have a hinge in the neck, which lets him look back about that far. Does get hindered by his cape, and once you get that forward, he looks down about that far. So really good range there. Arms are on a ball joint. They do go out to about that far. They do a full 360. They do kick out a little bit because of the shoulder pad, but it's a soft enough plastic that it'll get out of the way. We do have a bicep swivel, which works really good. We have a double bend in the elbow, giving us really good range. On this hand, we do have rotation and hinge at the wrist. No problems there. And I believe this is the exact, yeah, that's the exact same hinge. We do have an ab crunch, which goes back to about that far, goes forward, respectable. He has a swivel in the waist, works fine. The belt doesn't hinder movement. Legs do kick out forward, so that's really good movement there. Don't really kick back. They do kick out further than most Spider-Man figures. He does have a thigh swivel right here in the boot. There's a lot of places they could have hidden that thigh swivel within the lines, but I'm glad they went with the boot. Saves on paint in the long run. He does have double bend in the knee, only going up to about that far. We do get a swivel in the foot. We can have a hinge in the foot, which goes back about that far. Goes forward quite a bit. And then forward-facing pin for rocker ankle. So overall, a lot of good articulation here on Mr. Sinister, and there's a lot to love about this figure. So what I'm going to do now is take a little break, get him posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And so here we have Mr. Sinister posed for my final thoughts, and overall this is a really gorgeous looking figure and a really good job by Hasbro. I know they use a lot of parts for figures, but Mr. Sinister here is almost all new sculpt, and if there is some reuse here, I really don't mind because it came out really good. The cape on Mr. Sinister is fantastic. I do love this head sculpt, although there are some people that think it's not good enough. I think this is a good representation of Mr. Sinister, in my honest opinion. Of course, if you don't like the head, you can go out and get a third-party head, but for me, I think this is going to be my definitive Mr. Sinister on my shelf. Now, at the time I'm making this video, the Wendigo series is starting to hit stores and is available at Walmart, Target, and Walgreens. So if you are looking for Mr. Sinister, you can go ahead and check out your local Walmart, Target, Walgreens, or even order him off websites like BigBadToyStore.com. I picked up the entire case from BigBadToyStore.com, so if you want to pick up the entire case, go ahead and do so. It's in stock at the time I'm making this video. With that being said, guys, I'm KingofDragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, go check out all my other action figure reviews, as well as all my other Marvel Legend videos. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you would like to see me review, let me know down in the comments, and if it's in my collection, I'll definitely have a look at it. And while you're at it, check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, and ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video, because you can't find my videos with just a subscription. Ring that bell and you'll be up to date with every video I upload. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.